And we are live. What's good, Charles? I'm in DL Saint. Welcome. I really want to know podcast, man. How y'all doing? Happy Monday, man. I hope y'all are doing good. Hope your Monday. I hope everything is everything. Everything's cool on this end. Nothing too crazy to report. Just doing it. Just dealing. just waiting for life to pitch something, and we just seeing if we gonna strike out or get a home run, get a base hit, get something. Right. So that's all it is. Life is on the mound and I'm in the batter's box. So I hope all is well with y'all. Um, you know, thoughts and prayers and best wishes and great vibes or however, whatever phrase we're using these days for those people who are affected in Maui, those over in Hawaii, man, in Hawaiian Islands, those wildfires look horrific. The last time I checked, I want to say that they named this the worst natural disaster wildfire, I guess, to ever hit the Hawaiian Islands, maybe ever hit America. And wow, it's crazy what's going on out there, man. You hear the stories and you read the papers and you look at the aftermath. Man, it's crazy out there. I don't recall ever hearing about wildfires in Hawaii and the Hawaii Islands. Never. I've heard about volcanoes and tsunamis, but I've never heard about wildfires. That's crazy. And the latest is people are upset with the federal response. I don't know what's going on with that. I'll probably talk about that on Downrange Podcast sometime this week. And the thing with federal responses, I don't know anything about it, guys. I just saw a quick clip, but the feds can't do anything within the state unless the state, like the governor, lets them. So, there's a lot that's going on. I'm definitely going to look into that. There's a lot going on. Scam Likely's in the building. What's good, Dusto? How you feeling, bro? Good to see you. So yeah, hearts and prayers and all that goes out to those people who are struggling and suffering over and surviving over in Maui. It's crazy, man. It's crazy what's going on the planet. Outside of that, just a quick public service announcement. Melly Mel, leave Eminem alone. Like, I don't know if you guys have been following this at all, but Melly Mel has been going after Eminem. These are rappers. Melly Mel is definitely the god. Melly Mel, the Furious Five, is the group that really put hip hop on the map. I mean, like the message, White Lines, like it just, these are the guys that really put that push behind it. And then of course, Curtis Blow and Sugar Hill Gang. I mean, it was more that came, but the message. That's the first time I ever heard rap on TV. I heard the message on Saturday Night Live. I heard it in a skit. It was like a really funny skit. And it blew my mind. Like, oh man, that's so Melly Mel is definitely, one of the guys who founders of hip hop, of the movement, especially with rap, M scene and all that. But he's been going after Eminem, saying that Eminem is not the greatest. He's just a white boy. He has no place in hip hop. Only people who like Eminem are white people. Like, I don't know where Melly Mel has been, but Eminem is one of the greatest rappers ever, period, hands down. I mean, that's not even the discussion, bro. Eminem is, the lyricist. You go back and you want to study like hip hop, you want to study lyricism, you want to study wordsmiths. There's two rappers you definitely got to watch, and that's Eminem and Rakim. Point blank, period. That's it. If you're gonna do it, that's who you gotta look at. For anybody to come out and say anything negative about Eminem and his body of work, man, I don't even know if they know what they're talking about, bro. Be 100. I don't know what Melly Mel is on. It could be some hate. It could be some old person stuff. And let's keep it 100. It could just be plain racism. If I was, someone's mentioned it, like if Eminem were black, right? Like, whoa. If Marshall Mathers, if he was black, like, yeah, bro. So, shout out to Eminem. It is what it is. TBE Trucking in the building. What's good, fam? Shout out to you. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Scam Likely is talking about Tupac. Tupac was different. I mean, Tupac was different. I mean, who knows what Tupac would have been, had he lived, how, we could have really gone into his body of work. But, Tupac was a revolutionary. I think someone said Tupac was like a young Malcolm X. Like if I believe if Tupac was still alive today, he would be the most powerful politician in America, be more powerful than Barack Obama. That's my take on it. Tupac was way ahead of his time. He's a young man, but he was fiery, and I get where he was coming from. He had both. But when you look at Pac's lyrics, you look at, like his, what he was doing, his body of work. I mean, like Brenda Had a Baby. I guess Hit 'Em Up was cool. But when you look at like his big hits, especially when he came out, when he got with Death Row, all that Death Row stuff, man, it was like Dre and Snoop. Like Pac was the man. Don't get me wrong. Like Pac is great. You know what I mean? And man, he made a dent in the universe. They actually studied Tupac's work in college. You're right. It's just the man was brilliant, right? Brilliant. But stacking him up, like if I'm gonna make my top 5 all-time lyricist list, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Like, I don't know if Pac makes the top 5. You know what I mean? But if you're talking about people who made an impact on the community, impact on the world, impact on the universe, impact on everything, that Pac is number 1 on my list, on every list, as far as that goes. But when you just like lyricists, I mean, come on, bro. I mean, lyricists, it's so many great lyricists out there. I mean, especially if you're talking about that genre, that gangster genre, I'm like, bro, Pimp C. If I told you cocaine numbers, you would think I was lying, bro. Like Pimp C, Scarface, you know what I mean? Like Bun B, bro, like just prolific, just bars. You know what I mean? Like that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, man, it's that's what's going on. Melly Mel is saying stuff about Eminem. Like, man, I wish Melly Mel would stop. Maybe he just needs attention. I don't know. Brother Nighties is in the building. What's good, fam? Shout out to you, bro. Thanks for coming through, man. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about relationships, man. There's a brother out there, Stay Slick with Kit. Kit is a brother out of UK. He's an actor. I found this brother's YouTube channel through Melanie King. Does anyone know where Melanie King is? Because I haven't seen her. I don't. Maybe she's taking some extended hiatus. I know she mentioned that she was going to be moving, so maybe she did that. Like maybe she's in the process of her move. She also said she was looking for a husband. Maybe she found it. You know what I mean? Someone someone as attractive as Melanie King is not going to have a hard time finding a husband if that's what she wants. There's so many dudes on her podcast, on her platform lined up to marry her anyway. Yeah, it's just so funny watching dudes, like, boy, you want to talk about holla, holla, holla. And I ain't mad at him. You know what I mean? Like Melanie is extremely attractive. Don't know what she's like in real life. I haven't met her in real life, but you know what I mean? She seems real cool on her platform. So if anybody's seeing Melanie King, man, like tell her I said what's up. Like, where have you been, Mel? Hopefully she'll be back. But I found Slick with Kit through her. She did an interview with him in London. I guess Melanie had went to London a couple times, and she was, getting a lot of work done over there. So shout out to her. And this brother is pretty, he's pretty cool, man. I see what he's doing. He is, quote unquote dating coach, and his content is aimed at young women, single women. And I've been, really keeping my eye on his content, and I dig it. I dig what he's doing, but I wonder if women are ready for a male dating coach. More to the point where they listen. Will they listen? Because falling down this rabbit hole, the manosphere, red pill, and all this kind of stuff. What I have discovered is it's not just men who are out here suffering. Women are suffering too in today's sexual marketplace here in America, in America, in the Western world. Hey, everyone is suffering right now. And, people want to come up with their reasons as to why. Well, it's because of hypergamy. No, it's because, guys are weak. No, it's because women are too strong. Nope, it's because of feminism. Nope, it's because of this. I don't know why it is, but I do see that there is a problem out there. And that problem is everywhere. Wherever you are right now, there's a problem in them streets. There's a problem in them trenches when it comes to relationships. And I think a lot of it's not just the sexual marketplace. It's a lot of it has to do with upbringing. A lot of it has to do with technology. and all the rest of it. So Slick with Kit is out there he's talking to young women. And just women in general, seeing whoever will listen. And I wonder if the women are going to listen to him. So there's an episode on his platform right here. And this episode talks about how to avoid a situationships. That's all you hear when you talk to women. Like, it used to be a straightforward question. Hey, are you single? And it used to be yes or no. It was just, are you single? Yes, no. Now, situationship. Well, it's a situationship. Like, what does that mean? Well, to an old school dude like me, that means you smashing somebody. And the guy you smashing hasn't committed to you. You've been smashed by some dude that you really like, but he just smashing you. So to you, it's a situationship. To him, he's spinning plates. You know what I mean? You're part of his rotation. He just getting his. So Kit was talking about it. And I thought it was a pretty good episode. I mean, on his platform. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to react to that. Because I really believe, I believe he's giving some really solid advice. Technology has changed and everything is, different from when I came up. And the stuff that he's talking about with respect to technology, with respect to basically keeping your secret. There's so many people out there, I say it all the time, plausible deniability only works when there's no proof. Put your phone down. If you out there doing dirt, put your phone down. Right? How can you beat the case if you out there filming yourself breaking the rules? If you out there filming yourself doing what you're doing, how can you get out of it? So I wanted to break it down, watch one of his videos. I thought it'd be a little fun. So let's get into it. This is Stay Slick with Kit. Y'all, let's check this out.
Real talk. I am tired of situationships. There are more situationships out there than people in the world, I swear. And the crazy thing is, some people don't even know that they're in a situationship. They think that they're in a relationship, but they're not. So let's really define exactly what a situationship is. A situationship is where you've been sleeping with a guy for a certain period of time, but there is no commitment there and you don't really know where it's going. It's basically a friends with benefits situation without calling it a friends with benefits. Now, it may not be that way to you in your eyes, but if a guy's having sex with a girl over an extended period of time and he's not committing to her, that's very much how he sees it a lot of the time. The same way.
Facts. Facts. So Ralph Ripley talks about it. Situationships. I've never heard a guy tell me he's in a situationship ever. I've never heard that. Maybe there's dudes out there to say it, but I've never heard it. Situationship. When you have a guy who is getting sexual access from a woman, that's mission accomplished in his mind. Done. Mission accomplished. It's good. Now, what he does moving forward depends on the dude. You got a lot of dudes who, like I said, the average guy just wants one woman. They're not trying to run rotations. But if you believe in the 80-20 rule, if you believe that people want the best, which I do, if a woman's going after a dude who is a top tier kind of guy, I'm talking about looks and game and all that kind of stuff. He makes you laugh. He's fun to be around. He's never boring. That guy has options. So the situationship comes about when the woman realizes this dude has options, but I'm going to rock with him until he gives me the relationship that I'm looking for, which could take forever. So I would say the situationship is the opposite or the male version of the friend zone. Right. So let's continue.
A lot of guys are in the friend zone with girls that they like and they don't even know it. A lot of girls are in the friends with benefit zone with guys that they want that they don't even know it. But we're going to fix that right now. Here are 5 ways you can avoid being put in the friends with benefit zone with men. Before we get into that, my Claim Your Man program is now open. In this program, I guide you through step by step from the first day how to get commitment from the guy that you want. So if you want to be ready to get commitment from the next guy that you're into, enroll in the link below and I'll see you there. First way to avoid it is...
Yo, he has a course? Wow. man, I wonder how he's doing. I'm gonna have to DM him and ask him how he's doing with that course. Wow, he put together a course to help women get the guy that they want. Man, that's a risky proposition. You know what I mean? That's a risky oh man, ladies, to get the guy that you want, if that dude is high value enough, man, it's gonna be hard to do. I wonder what's in that course. Can it be done? Of course. Absolutely. Yes, it can be done. But it would take so much sacrifice on the female's part. For a woman going after a top tier guy, a guy with all those options, that competition is fierce. I'm just sitting here right now, y'all. Excuse me for I'm just thinking. I'm like, how could you do it? You would have to add so much value to that guy's life that he wants to cut the rest of them loose. It's like you are just too valuable to him. And it's, because a lot of women think, well, I'm just gonna go in here, I'm gonna smash him, give him the best Foxy Brown he's ever had. That's not a thing. That's why most women fail. They think they're gonna go in with sex and it's gonna win the guy over. It's not. It's gonna be all those other things that add value to that guy's life that's gonna help him become the man he wants to become successful, and have a woman on his arm who's elegant, who's smart, and who is committed to that guy. It would take those things. I wonder if that's in there. I'm going to talk to him about that. I'm going to try to get the brother on here. I'm going to have to try to get the brother on here. I'm just trying to think what would it take for a woman to get a top tier dude? That's a tough one right there. That's a tough one. Brother Christopher's in the building. What's good, fam? How you feeling? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's continue.
Is avoid having sex on the first date. This is the most obvious one. Yes, having sex on the first date doesn't necessarily stop your chances of getting a relationship, but does it hurt your chances? Significantly so. Like, a lot. When you lead with sex, that's all a guy sees when he thinks of you. But when you lead with emotional intimacy and connection, that too is all he sees when he thinks of you. And the first date is all about starting how you mean to go on. And I get this notion can rub some people the wrong way, but Kit, it's 2023, my body, my choice. I should be able to have sex with whoever I want, whenever I want. And you're absolutely right. We have the freedom to do that. But that doesn't mean that we're exempt from the consequences of the decisions that we make and the things that come along with those choices. I mean, personally,
women ain't gonna want to hear that, but he's got a fact. I mean, he's on to something there. He's not lying. He's not lying. And I like the point. I really, really respect the fact that he kept it 100. Simply because you have sex on the first date or the first encounter, ladies, does not automatically disqualify you as a long-term prospect. It doesn't. It depends on how it played out. It depends on how it went. Now, women who lead with sex are definitely equivalent to dudes who lead with their wallet. So you have to be careful on how you move, right? Like you have to be very, very careful, ladies, with that. You have to know the dude. I mean, if you're dealing with a guy who is simply about just smashing, it doesn't matter when you smash him, first date or the third date, because most dudes only going to give you so many opportunities. You know what I mean? When I was out there doing it, even to this day, really, like 3-day rule. If I'm just trying to smash, it's 3-day rule, which is 3 days or the first 3 dates or first 3 encounters that I see within that time frame. We smashing. If we ain't, I'm moving on. Like, what? I'm not. Otherwise, it's a waste of my time. If I see you as that, like you just somebody I'm trying to smash, 3-day rule. And you'd be surprised how many women rock out, day 1, day 2, for real. I mean, especially if you provide experiences and, like you're, funny, you provide security, you have confidence, you'd be surprised. You'd be shocked how many women are just down. And then, again, it's like, you don't know what the woman's looking for. She might just be looking for that. Like she just I want to smash. She might be out there like, I would argue that 95% of women know the moment they see you, if they're going to sleep with you, right? They know it. And it's up to the dude not to screw it up, right? I've talked about this on this platform at length. That's just how it is. Just being tuned enough as a guy to realize, all right, I think she's trying to do something. Let me just, let me play this right. Let me be cool with it. Let me not mess this up. So having sex on the first date or the first encounter isn't necessarily going to get you thrown out, of that significant other pool. But, most of the time it does, if you're dealing with a guy who's simply out there to get sex. Like if you out there dealing with a guy who's just trying to smash, why would you even want to try to change that dude, right? I mean, you got to understand what it is, ladies. Circle back to him later. Like, like, okay, break contact and maybe circle back to him in a few months or a year or two and see where he is at that point. I wonder if that's in his course. I'm gonna have to get dude's course. I'm just curious. I'm just curious to see what he's talking about. We got brother Michael in the building. What's good, fam? Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming through. So, but yeah, I like the way he was very careful to say that, hey, simply because you slept with, someone on the first encounter does not necessarily mean that you're out of the picture for a long-term prospect. However, if you lead with sex, ladies, that is equivalent to those dudes who lead with money. And a guy would gladly take that Foxy Brown and have it on a regular and just keep doing it. Just like a woman will gladly take money from that dude and experiences from that dude. Like, sure, we could take a trip. Sure, you could take me to dinner in a really nice restaurant. Sure, you can give me a helicopter ride. Sure, you can give me a bunch of flowers. She'll gladly take that. Sure, you could take me shopping. The guys would gladly take that Foxy Brown. Sure, I'll smash you. Sure, I'll smash you and your friends. Like, sure. I mean, it's the same thing. Miss AKA ladies in the building. What's good? Says good to see you. Hey y'all, we got a Southern princess in the building. You know what I mean? Hey y'all, Southern Belle in the building. And Miss AKA lady, she good people, y'all, for real. She is really good people, man. So glad she's here. So proud of her for being one of my day ones, rocking out with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm that goes for all of y'all too. All my day ones, man. I mean, for real. Thank y'all. Thank you so much for rocking out with me. But yeah, let's continue.
If someone told me that exercising a little bit of sexual discipline is going to help me get the kind of relationship that I want, personally, I think that's totally worth it. Wouldn't you? Next way to avoid the friends of benefit zone is to turn off your sexually explicit profile. I'm talking if you have an OnlyFans that is public, or if you have a lot of sexually explicit photos or sexually provocative photos online in your profile, social medias, whatever it is. Now, you don't have to delete the photos. Maybe you can just archive them, And I'm not saying that you have to delete sexy ones or hide the sexy ones, but just explicit ones, the very provocative ones. We will say, look, there's nothing wrong with posting beauty, sexy photos on your Instagram or whatever. That's cool. But if you're posting sexually explicit photos, that is only going to attract a certain kind of attention. Because the truth is, yes, it does attract the kind of guys who are players and are just looking to have fun and mess around. But it also attracts a certain kind of approach from guys who actually could be really good. Good guys that you would want to take seriously. Now, I know some people might say, well, a good guy would never be interested in casual sex. That's not entirely true. A good
guy is absolutely interested in somebody just throwing him the Foxy Brown. Why wouldn't he be? Why wouldn't he be? Right. And that's where we get into that. Like, well, a good guy would just sit there. He'll be a good boy. Oh, good boy. Man, please, dude, trying to blow your back out like everybody else. This part here, this is new to me. I didn't come up in this world, the social media world with this technology, the whole thirst trap thing. I didn't come up with that. That era. We didn't have that when we was coming up. I make a thirst trap. I'm trying to think like what, because we didn't have the technology that would allow us to exchange those photos like that. Because think about that. Email and all that, electronic mail was new. I was coming up, that stuff did not exist. It was photos, bro. Normally it was photos you had to get developed. Sometimes, if you were lucky, you had the Polaroid, but it was photos. Yes, there were some girls out there who were taking news and, having grown up, pictures, like taking pictures of them, doing grown up stuff, bouncing up and down on folks, but that was rare. that was rare. I mean, there was certain dudes who were really good at womanizing that would have his girls do that. I'm gonna take it, but he was taking a picture. So it wasn't like, you know what I mean? So and it was, but that wasn't the norm. Now it's the norm. You know, you're talking about the bikini shots and all that kind of stuff, man, the twerking videos, in bed, you know, the sex faces video, like the stuff that's going on now, like it's insane. Like just go through Instagram. You know, Nina the Pineapple. I love Nina. She's great. She is a great young woman. She's beautiful, but everything's about her butt. She has an amazing body. She has an amazing body, but you know, in talking to her, she's can't seem to find a good guy. It's like, well, baby, everything is about your butt. Like everything is sexualized. It's it's like, but I'm not having sex on TV. I mean, I'm not doing those. I'm like, you got an OnlyFans. What else are you doing on your OnlyFans? You know what I mean? Like you must be doing something. These dudes be wanting some, but you know, OnlyFans covers a wide gamut. You know what I mean? Like it's beautiful women on OnlyFans that just sit there and talk to dudes. You know, but we all, you know, or they could be selling feet pictures, like only feet. You know what I mean? They could be doing whatever. But we all pretty much accept what's really going on OnlyFans, right? So if you're talking to a guy, a guy that you really want to be with, he's gonna see that, and that's gonna change the way he approaches you. Like, okay, you getting down like that? Okay, I'm gonna treat you like that. You know, but she's caught in that catch-22 where it's like, man, she's making a ton of money, but that's hurting her. That it hurts her ability to secure the kind of man that she wants. Again, that 80-20 stuff. You can get a guy in the bottom 80 who will, whatever, he'll take the pictures for you. He'll sit there and whatever you're doing on OnlyFans, he'll be about it. He won't care about it so long as you come home and whatever. But is that necessarily the guy you want to be with? No. So there it is right there. Brother Cody King is in the building. He's like, nah, hoes don't deserve relationships. Once OnlyFans, always a hoe. Yeah, once an OnlyFans chick, always a 304. That's a new phenomenon, man. I can't, hey, listen, I can't argue. I can't push back. I see what I see. You know, for us, the closest thing to OnlyFans was the girls who were dancing, like strippers. But the way that they handled that, if they were a stripper in this town, they would go to the other town 2 hours, 3 hours away, go make their money and come back home. So they were really living that split personality life. They had a dude and everything. They were a dutiful girlfriend, but you drive an hour away to wherever towns they was doing their thing in, and it was the bad girl. But that was the closest thing we had. And most of the women I knew that were dancing, when they were ready to stop dancing, they had no problem getting themselves a guy that they wanted, the top tier guy, whatever, because they had that plausible deniability. There was no film. There was no video. There was no Instagram account. There was no OnlyFans account. Only way you would catch her is if you caught her on a humble, like you just happened to bump into her in the, you know what I mean, stripping or whatever. That was pretty much the only way. And then in those cases, there was a few times when dudes had like these great women that they were seeing, come to find out that she was a dancer. And guess what? The chick quit. The woman stopped dancing because she really wanted to be with dude. Like, well, I'm cool out, you know, got a regular job and worked it out with dude. So it was that. But today, OnlyFans, Instagram, all these other things out there, bro, the way, you know, women doing their thing right now, get your money, sis. I ain't mad at you. Get your money. But that's going to hurt you down the road. Let's continue.
Guy doesn't mean he's only interested in dating seriously. A good guy is somebody who has integrity and is honest about his intentions. He doesn't deceive anyone. So with that, there will be times where he is pursuing women to have something casual with them, because maybe they want something casual as well. They could be looking for the same thing. And this kind of content makes him think that you're one of those girls, that you're one of those girls who's just looking to have fun, live the fast lifestyle, you know, here one day, gone the next. It's about first impressions. Now, this isn't me saying that, oh, if you posted sexy pics on there, then you're absolutely screwed, because there's a difference in being tastefully sexy and being sexually explicit. It's just about knowing the difference and staying on the right side of that line. Next way to avoid the friends and benefits zone with a guy that you like is stay off Tinder.
Man, he's crushing it right here. I got to give it to Kit. He's crushing it. That thing he said about the good guy, he's right. A good guy's going to keep it 100. I've never heard it explained that way. I've never described it that way. But yeah, I've always told women the truth. This is where it is. This is what it is. This is how we fit. And, you know, and this is the role you play in this scenario. I've always been that way. Always. And some women like, well, you never had that talk with me. I'm like, because we never even got to that point. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to explain nothing to you if I just call you at 3 a.m, tell you to come through and get it, or you call me at midnight, telling me to come over and get it. There's nothing to explain. You already know what we're doing. You feel me? So that can be very confusing to a guy. He's out here trying to figure it out. He's a good guy, but he sees that, you know, you got this OnlyFans, you know, or you're a dancer or whatever. You know, like you said, your stuff is extremely sexually explicit as opposed to just being sexy. I mean, there's one thing to have like a cool, you know, nice little cleavage shot or whatever, or have on a skirt that's kind of high, but, you know, not too high. That's one thing. But to have your cheeks out, right? To have your breasts fully exposed, you just got pasties on and you kind of like holding them up and you're doing the tongue thing. That's something completely different. Someone sees that as like, okay, she about that life. And then if a guy comes to you and then you're like, well, no, that's just, I just do that over there. And you know, I'm not like that. He's going to be confused. And he's like, all right, you're not even worth why pursue. This is going to be a problem. I'm out. And it's like, well, how can I bring her around? Like, this is my woman. And then dudes are like, this is your woman. It's right here. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's like what like Andrew Schultz was saying, but I can see her butthole. I can see the whole butthole for 1999. That's hard to get. That's hard to get by. That is so hard to get by. You know what I mean? And Brother Cody is right. As a man, it's your job to verify her history. Facts. That gets into the vetting process. If you don't, you know what I mean, you deserve what you get. Yep. He's like, I don't ever date a woman. I don't think it means he doesn't ever date a woman who is or has been on a dating site. Ooh. Yeah, that's coming up on this Tinder stuff. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second. But I see where you're coming from, bro. In fact, the most desirable women don't even have social media. Facts. I bumped into a woman the other day. Two women, in fact. And it was in like a 3-week period. I bumped into 2 women that had no social media whatsoever. None. Like no social media. And I asked them like, well, why? It's like, it's just too much drama. I don't have time for that. You know, people who get bogged down into that, like it's a distraction. It takes me away from what I'm trying to do. Man, with every word she said, I was falling deeper and deeper for this woman. Like, man, this is the woman I want to take out. I want to just go out and talk to her. You know what I mean? Like, wow, no social media? Like, nah, it just isn't worth it. Your Brother Cody, like that's every woman. Like, it's just like, it just blew my mind. Like, no social media, none. You know what I mean? And she was older too. She was in her 30s. The other woman was like in her late 20s, and she was like, yeah, I had to come off of social media. I think she said when she got done with college, she was done with social media. So like, it just no real good comes from it. You know, she was just like, I just don't like it. I got other things I'm trying to do. I have higher priorities. I was truly impressed. Maybe that's going to be a thing. I think more women are starting to come to that realization. Like, you know what? This ain't it. This ain't it. And like what Brother Cody said, he's like, man, she's all on dating apps and stuff like that. Why bother? But I agree with you there too, bro. Like the whole dating app thing is just a train wreck, man. It's horrific. When it first started, way back in the day when most of y'all was still in school, you know what I mean, elementary school or in nursery school, when it first started back then, yeah, man, you could meet some folks. It was different. But now, nah, man. I mean, I might even try one of these days to, you know, get on Tinder just to see what happens as a experiment for the site, you know what I mean, for the YouTube channel, just to get on there so you guys can see. But you know, just to see the back and forth, the messages and all that, how much it costs and all that kind of stuff, man. People have done it before. As a dude on a dating app, man, you're at a severe disadvantage. a severe disadvantage. And when you start going to the other dating apps, you notice you see the same women, you know, and from the female side of it, it's just, you know, they want the attention and validation and stuff like that, man. So let's hear what Brother Kit has to say.
Is the first hookup app. Yes, it is possible to find someone significant on there, you know, after hours of swiping, filtering through all the messages, and then finally narrow it down to maybe 5 dates. But here are 3 things you have to consider when you're using Tinder. 1, it is the first place people go to when they're looking for something casual. 2, it is oversaturated with ads, fake profiles, and scams. And 3, half the people on there are in relationships just looking for validation.
These 3 right here, spot on, bro. It's full page on this, man. He's absolutely correct. And there's news reports on this. You know, half the people on there on a relationship just looking for validation. There's news report. I want to say it was the Washington Post did a story on it. I think it was them, but I remember reading it like, damn, they're just looking for they're just looking for that validation, man. They're looking to feel wanted. And men have to pay. Like women, I mean, there's just so many dudes on there. Men have to pay. I wonder what the numbers show on that. I wonder how many men are still trying it. And the hookup stuff is right. That's the first place they go when they're looking for just a quick little hookup. And whatever the latest dating app is, that's what you wind up doing, you know, and then you got to add Instagram to that. You know what I mean? Instagram is, you know, the #1 dating app on the planet, man. Like shout out to, you know, to Fresh was saying that all the time. Myron and Fresh was saying that going back 2.5 years ago. I mean, you can't get around it. And the way dudes are learning how to make themselves look more attractive on Instagram and social media to draw in the women. I mean, it is what it is. You know, men are problem solvers. You know what I mean? And Brother Cody is right here, man. They're just hookup apps, man. They're sex apps. Facts. He said, they're looking for someone good enough to cheat with. You got that too. There's a lot of that monkey branching going on. Everybody looking for, not everybody. There are a lot of women out there who are looking for something better. You know, again, people fall in love with the fakeness that they see on social media. You know, if you were to believe social media is real, then it's like 95% of Americans are flying around on private jets, driving Ferraris, you know what I mean, and popping bottles every night. That's not true. That's not true. But people believe it is. Just look at their social media. So folks are like, well, I got to get with a guy who does that. So I'm going to mess with this dude so I can get out there and be in the VIP and fly around a private jet and ride around in a Rolls Royce. It's like, nah, all you're going to do is get smashed and he's going to move on to your friends. That's just how it works.
Look, I'm just saying your time could be better utilized elsewhere and invested elsewhere than, you know, swiping till you have arthritis. Maybe that was a bit crude, but I stand by my point. Next way to avoid the friends benefit zone is prioritize meeting guys in non-intoxicated environments. The party scene tends to attract individuals who are just looking to party. Shocker, right? Now, I'm not talking about a work event or if you go to a music gig where they have drinks. That's all cool. They're actually really great places to meet people. I'm talking about clubs, drug-infested parties, festivals. Well, festivals, I guess it depends on which one you go to. Hey, you could go into a podcast and, you know, get connected to a whole new network. Who knows? Next way to avoid the friends of benefit zone. And this one, I think.
And before he moves on, that thing he said about where you meet people. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. Don't get it twisted. You can go into a nightclub and bump into a really good woman or a really good dude on a humble. It's possible. You know, you might bump into that person who doesn't normally go out. Their friends drug them out. It's possible. Like they barely have social media if they have social media at all. You know, they'll have an Instagram and it's private. You know, no other stuff. Like it's possible. I met a woman 6 or 7 months ago. Was it that long ago? In a dance spot. Her friends drug her out. She was having a problem with her relationship. Her friends drug her out. And man, look, she saw me and there's a look, guys. I'd say this to a lot of dudes, you know, shout out and rest in peace to my man Smile. Smile would say this all the time. Like, oh, she gave me the look. There's a look. A woman, you catch her eye, you catch her, you know, checking you out. And there's a look. Again, if you're socially aware, you know what I'm talking about. And I saw that look. She walked, I was standing with a couple other dudes, a couple of my homeboys, and she walked by and she gave that look, man. I caught her eye a little bit. She was like, she smiled at her. She smiled back. She was a little embarrassed, but she was happy that I caught her eye. She made it her business to come talk to me before the night was over, and we danced, had a good time. She told me she was going through what she was going through with her relationship. Sounded like her dude, you know what I mean? Her husband was going through his midlife crisis. What it sounded like. Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. Kids almost grown. And she was like, you know, you can see her friends, like they drugged me here to get my mind off of things. Yo, she, you know, we exchanged information. We was talking back and forth. And to her credit, she was like, you know, I need to take care of this situation that I'm in right now. I need to fix this first. If this doesn't work, then I'll, you know, I mean, I'd love to talk to you. And I could do nothing but respect that. I was like, it's all good, love. And she knew she was, yo, when you talk about somebody who was talking to what she wanted, and I'm not talking shit about me, it's just for whatever reason, I was what she wanted. I could tell by the way she'd embrace me. I could tell by the way she was dancing. The things I would say to her, and there was a little bit of a language barrier. I mean, she was an English speaker, but English wasn't her first language. I said something to her jokingly, and she, you know, it was something like, I was like, you should just go away or something. We were talking about sports. And, you know, and I was like, you like that team? And I kind of pushed her away playfully. And the look on her face, no. I was like, I'm just playing, baby. Oh, she's like, oh, okay. It was funny because you could tell when someone, she really, there was something about me that she was digging. Right. And there was no games with this woman. This is a grown up woman. You could tell she did not go out. You could tell. Hey, again, this is why it's so important that you're socially aware, ladies and gentlemen. You key in on this shit, especially as a man. Women, they know. Men, y'all need to be able to key in on this. So in my mind, I'm like, this ain't just somebody I'm trying to, you know, I'm like trying to smash. If I was out there just trying to smash, I wouldn't have even tried to holler at her. It would have been long term. I'd have made her chase me. It'd have been long term game like that. And again, I never wanted to sleep with women like that because that was just not cool. Because you know they into you, like you know they into you. Now you fucking with people's emotions. That's how you get hurt. That's how your car get keyed up, tires get slashed. That's when brothers and cousins and uncles and them be looking for you with them things. No, just like all money ain't good money, man. That's why you got to be able to say no to some dimes. And this woman was beautiful. This woman is beautiful. Right. But we were in a nightclub and that was an environment I could tell that she was foreign to. And that would have worked out. You feel me? Like that had all the opposite. It still may. You talk about circling back. I might have to send her a message. It still may. I might shoot her a text. See how she's doing. And if I hit her up and she tells me, oh, we work things out, me and my husband work things out, I'll be like, cool, and I'll leave her alone. Because I don't want to get in between that. You know what I mean? I want her to be happy. That's real player right there. That's true player right there. It ain't about just smashing, man. Like, nah, go ahead and let her be happy. And guess what? She'll remember that. So if dude messes up again, guess who the first person she gonna holler at is? It's gonna come right to me. It's gonna be on. So you could meet someone in a nightclub. You could meet someone in these type of environments, but more than likely you're going to come across people who just looking for the short term, people who, you know, you ain't going to find Miss Right. You're going to find Miss Right now, right? She's going to find Mr. Right now, right? It is what it is. So he's true about that. So be careful where you meet. And, you know, not to beat up on the church, but you can go to a church and it could be bad for you, bro. Like, cause you don't go into the church and put your guards down thinking you don't need them up. I don't need my shields up because I'm in church. Man, there's some women in there that will wreck you. There's some dudes in there that will wreck you. Be careful because they in there hunting. Right? There's dudes in there hunting. There are women in there hunting. I mean, you definitely got to have your shields up. As soon as you walk into the church doors, man, it's like on Star Trek, man, red alert, shields up. Like, what's floating around in here? You got to be on it. Simply because you in that environment doesn't mean you ain't going to come up on the wrong person. So always be careful about your surroundings and where you are, right? So just like in a nightclub, just because your nightclub doesn't mean it's impossible to find a good woman. The inverse is true. Just because you in a church doesn't mean you can't find an evil woman. In fact, I would argue that's where they hang out. Evil men are in there too. Church is a place for, spiritually lacking people to go get fixed. It's like church is, a hospital for spirituality. So if you go into a hospital, you're going to see a whole bunch of sick people. Going to church, you're gonna find a whole bunch of sinners. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. So keep your guard up. You know what I mean? Keep your guard up, Miss AK. A lady, stay clear of the church drummer. Uh-oh, somebody got stories. Somebody got stories. Man, listen, they ain't there getting it, y'all. They are getting it. Let's continue.
Is the most important one is do not go back to an ex-flame. They're an ex-flame for a reason. Now, I know why there's a level of draw to go back to an ex-flame, because maybe you weren't compatible for a relationship, but the chemistry and the physical intimacy you had was really great. And I get why you would want to go back to them, because A, you want to get your physical needs met, right? And you know that they can do that for you. And B, it means you don't have to add another notch to the body count if that's something that you're conscious of. But if we are serious about having a real relationship, we have to be able to exercise sexual discipline. Otherwise, you end up splitting your energy and you can't really pour into someone else who maybe is ready to have that, especially while you're sharing that energy with someone else as a woman. If you meet a guy and he wants to take you seriously, he will be pouring into you. And it's really easy for us to underappreciate someone who's investing in us when we are investing in someone else. Now, maybe you're thinking, yeah, okay, Kit, but I'm not actually investing in this ex-flame. I'm just getting my needs met. Wrong. You are investing in him if you are being intimate, because whether
I agree with what he's saying. I agree with what he's saying. You know, people go back to ex-flames. You know, people, you hear this a lot in the red pill world, in the Mano Swamp. You know, like the woman, she's always having sex with somebody. There's a lot of truth to that. There is a lot of truth to that. And before, when I was coming up, there wasn't a name for it. We just accepted it. We knew what time it was. Like, come on, man, she messing with somebody, bro. She too fine to be over here not messing with somebody. And we were almost always, I'm saying 98% of the time, we were correct. She had somebody she was messing with. And generally speaking, it was her ex, or it was that guy that their relationship has always been that way since maybe they were like teenagers. They were always go back to one another. Boom, they go back and hit, go back and hit. They, for whatever reason, they couldn't make a relationship work. So the relationship just kind of morphed into something else to where they know they feel comfortable with one another. They could call one another, and it wouldn't like it was fine. I had this one woman I was messing with. This was back in the day. This is in Ohio. And she would tell me, she was like, well, I'm gonna keep it 100. I was that dude. She felt comfortable with me. We never dated, right? We never had a relationship. Our relationship was whenever she wanted it, she could come and get it. She was fine. She was cool. And a lot of times it was just she wanted to come over so she wasn't alone. She would come over and just, want to make it a Blockbuster night, right? Because we didn't have Netflix. And Netflix, it was Blockbuster. She would come over and just have a Blockbuster night. She'd come over and she was like, hey, I'm gonna grab a pizza. Can I come over? I'll bring a pizza. Like, I ain't doing nothing, come through. She knew what I was doing. She saw me in the streets. She would help me get on. I smashed some of her friends. She didn't care. She would come over because she was comfortable around me. And we didn't smash every time she came over. She'd come over like, just, I didn't want to be alone. She'd come over, we crack some jokes or whatever. We just kick it on the couch or whatever. End of the night, you know what I mean? Either she would go home or she would jump in the bed with me. We would just sleep, wake up. It was no pressure. And she loved that. And, she'll be seeing dudes. She'll be talking about the guy she's dating or whatever. Like, yeah, this one guy, man. I'm like, oh, you talking about a little shorty? Like, dude with the, whatever. It'd be like, dude with the big nose. Stuff like that. She's like, yeah. I'm like, girl, you might as well give him some. I don't know if I'm ready to do that. I mean, she'd just be talking to me about it, whatever. She'll come over, we go sleep, wake up in the morning. But then before she left, she'll get her wiggle on. She'll get her wiggle on before she leave. Well, let me just take me get this. Or I'll take a shower and she'll climb in that shower with me. But we just had that openness. It was cool. There was no expectations of nothing, right? There's a lot of women like that. They got somebody that they can hit up. There's some women out there who really like, they done took the oath for whatever reason. They got hurt or crushed or whatever. And they're like, I ain't messing with nobody. They take the oath. You got some women out there like that. But that generally happens later in life. When we were young, between 18 and 27, nah, man, everybody was getting it in. All the women I was messing with was getting it in. It was what it was. And I wasn't mad at all. You know what I mean? Brother Cody is saying, in general, don't go fishing in the sewer unless you want to catch bottom feeders. Lobsters may taste good, but they eat shite. Facts. Facts, bro. That is, wow. That is, they gotta give you that. I gotta get Don Mark on that. Facts. Facts. You know what I mean? Be careful what you're dealing with. Let's continue.
Whether it's casual or not, whether you're taking it seriously or not, you're still spending time with him, you're sharing your body with him, and there is still an energy exchange with him, which means that the energy that you will be trying to share with the guy who maybe you would take seriously is going to be diluted. I've been in this situation before. I was having fun with this girl. It was a friends of benefit situation, and she was ready to have something more serious. And so to find something serious, she ended our situation that we had. Now, initially I was like, okay, but why can't we just continue to have fun until you find a guy that you want to be serious with? Why do you have to end it in order for you to be open for a guy to be serious with you? To which she was like, I've been trying to do that for a couple of months, Kit, and it's not been working. If I'm going to do it, I have to give it a proper chance. And she was absolutely right to do what she did, because then lo and behold, within a few months, she was in a relationship with this really great guy, and I was all the more happy for her. So hey, you can tell me if you think that was a catalyst for her or not, but I think the proof is in the pudding. If you're looking for a guy,
yeah, Kid's right about that, man. You can tell he's English proper. Yeah, it was proper. All right. The way his story ended was the same way mine ended. Like, because he was in a relationship, really, though. He and that, it sounded like in his situation, they were actually in a relationship, whatever. I was the booty call. I was the willing booty call. And she could come, no strings attached. I mean, it was no phone calls between connects. Like, she would come through. I never called her for a connect. I was running my rotation. She called me for the connect. So I was basically her living, breathing vibrator, right? So there was no, and then when it was over, I would bump into her in the streets. You know, some months would go by, maybe a year, and then I would see her somewhere, right? You know, Cincinnati is a pretty small town, so I would see her like, "Oh, what's up, baby? I ain't seen you in a minute." Come over, hug or whatever, and yo, what's up, man? Where you been? Because it's a memory jogger. Like, yo, I ain't seen you in a minute. What's up with the pizza nights? And she was like, you know, I can't mess with you. You know what I mean? I'm a good girl. I'm a good girl. Sometimes they'll say I'm a good girl. Now they'll say I'm a good girl. Like, nah, you know, you remember Big Nose? I'm you know, we doing it and it's cool. I like him. I'm like, all right, I'm happy for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't like grab her on her butt or kiss her. I didn't do none of that. You know, you could see dude off in the wings over there waiting, right? I didn't want to meet dude. It wasn't none of that. I was like, it's cool. She kept that distance between me and whatever dude she was messing with. Why? Because she knew she could always come through for that pizza. I let me show it if you still out there. But she knew she can always come over with that pizza, and it was on. You know what I mean? So she kept that distance, but she had to stop seeing me so she could be serious and make that relationship work with dude. And that's what Kit's talking about. So I agree with him 100% on that part right there. Brother Tez is in the building. What's good, fam? Let's continue.
you spots up your love life, make sure you subscribe to this wonderful tribe. And as always, keep it slick.
Keep it slick with Kit. I gotta give it to the brother. And that brother's an actor in London, from what I gathered on that interview he did with Mel King. He's got about almost 5,000 subscribers. He's out here doing this thing, man. Salute to that brother, man. Salute to him. He's right. He's right. That breakdown he gave was solid. I hope women are listening to him. Men, you can learn. If you watch his content, like, man, he's just talking to women. He brings women on his platform and has these one-on-one discussions. And I'm telling you, when you listen, you know, going back to these panels in the manosphere, be it Fresh and Fit or whatever podcast or MOA like Michael Certain, he's doing a one-on-one with women and the same talking points come up. Women truly look at it differently, man. Of course they're going to look at it differently. The game is set up differently for them. And a lot of women fall into traps or whatever. They don't even realize they're falling into traps. So I really suggest y'all guys check this brother out, man. I'm definitely going to link that clip in the description for Team Replay, man. Y'all go ahead and watch the whole thing over again, whatever they can say. It was real quick. It's barely 8 minutes. And he has other content out there. I'm definitely going to continue to circle back to his content because it's good stuff. And gentlemen, it's a lot you can learn by watching this brother talking to these women. And he'll have, again, one-on-one conversations, and they are very, very eye-opening, very revealing. And you can learn a lot if you're trying to learn a lot. You know what I mean? Like I tell these dudes all the time, I got to get y'all social game up. You got to understand what's going on. You got to be able to read these cues. You got to be able to catch these cues and understand where she's coming from and where she is. It might be a very, very subtle thing. And if you miss it, that could have been your opportunity right there. Like you just blew it. It could be very, very subtle. You know, it's not always going to be over the top. She's not going to be like, I like you. That's not how that shit works. Very, very subtle. It could be just her playing with her hair a certain way at a certain point during the conversation. It could be a smile, right? A quick little laugh. It could be one of these when she, turns away. It could be her nudging you or brushing up against you with her shoulder. It could be something very subtle. And most men miss that shit. They miss it, and that blows it. You know what I mean? They're like, come on, man, it can't be like that. Like, oh, yes, it can be, bro. That's the difference between you doing whatever it is you hoping to do and you going home alone. That's how that works out. So thanks for rocking out with me, man. That was fun. Stay slick with Kit. Please go over there, like and subscribe on his platform, man. Support this brother. Help him get over 5,000. We're over 1,500, y'all. Please like and subscribe right here. I really want to know podcast, and let's keep our numbers going up. Because we're trying to help folks over here. People like, man, you need to give solutions. Like, I don't need to give solutions. People just need to try harder. You know what I mean? But I am definitely open to talk to folks. And like I said, we're doing good things. If you're in the Tampa area, let's see, Friday the 18th, man, I'm getting together with the New Templars, man. If y'all want more information, hit me up on my Instagram. But we're gonna be getting together, and just chopping it up. It's gonna fellowship amongst cool brothers who are out here trying to figure it out. We're growing. We're getting to a point now. We've done our foundation building. We have we have our bylaws, and we know what we're going to be doing as an organization. And, we set our meeting dates, and we have a spot that we're going to meet and all that kind of stuff. So now it's all about getting our memberships up. We're going to do this like membership event coming up next month. It's a lot of stuff that we're working on. Now it's time for us to start inviting people to come out. So if you're in the Tampa area, or if you plan to be in the Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater area, hit me up. Come check us out. We're smoking cigars. We're having grown up drinks, and we're just having in-person discussions, man. This is what people need to do. People, y'all need to get outside into the real world. Just do it. If it's just once a month, get outside into the real world. So thanks for rocking out with me, y'all. I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know what it is. I'm DL Saint. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. I'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I might do a separate show tomorrow to do some downrange podcast stuff. So be looking for that. Be looking for the thumbnails. Thanks for rocking out with me. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.
See you tomorrow.